Good to have you back in on the mailbag. Where are you starting us off at?
Okay, where do you predict Nebraska will land in the Big Ten preseason riders poll in the Big Ten West standings?
Well, they don't really do one anymore. Are we going to go off that Cleveland plain dealer one?
They do that. That's like the only one that is
That's the big one.
Yeah, that's the
Cleveland
unofficial.
Cleveland.com.
Have you voted in that before?
I have, and I've also skipped it, and they might have taken me off the list. But anyway, they still do that, and it's pretty big. That's as official as it gets. Where will Nebraska be in that?
Fifth in the division.
If they do the divisions, I don't know. Couldn't you see them ahead of Minnesota?
No. Minnesota's an 8.5 point favorite over Nebraska.
Could you see them ahead of Illinois?
No.
Could you see them ahead of Iowa?
No.
Could you see them ahead of Wisconsin?
No.
Fifth is the slot.
I think they can be ahead of Northwestern
and Purdue. You see Purdue, like Phil Steele had Purdue in the cellar, not Northwestern. He had Purdue in the cellar.
Lines up with your thinking. You've been out on Purdue for a while.
Questionable hire, lost a lot. Lost a lot.
Better question, is Michigan unanimous over Ohio State? Like, let's say there's 20 voters. Like, do you think they get 20 votes first place over Ohio State?
Penn State's a threat too.
I don't know if it's going to be consensus.
I don't think it will be,
because there'll be an Ohio State writer that picks Ohio State or something. You know that. I mean, that happens. Like,
especially up there.
Yeah.
Remember the Big 12 preseason polls? Like, everybody with a credential to media days would vote, and there would always be like some obscure like team that just had no business getting a first place vote would get one.
Yeah, I kind of remember that, but yeah, I don't think Michigan.
Baylor would get
I don't
one.
know that I don't know that Michigan should be consensus. I mean, I think
they should be heavy favorites.
They should receive 80% of the first place votes.
I agree.
Penn State should receive some first place votes. The concern I have,
I don't know about that.
I think they're
loaded.
distant.
No, they're loaded.
Yeah, but
so is Michigan.
Michigan has everybody. Blake Corum
Michigan's
back.
one of the best teams in the country.
Yeah, it'd be hard to pick them ahead of Michigan.
Michigan has 2 All-American running backs.
It wouldn't be hard for me to pick them ahead of Ohio State, though. It wouldn't.
No.
It'd be hard for me to pick them ahead of Michigan. The problem, the hesitancy I have with Penn State is they have a new kicker, a new long snapper, and a new punter. Close games, that's scary.
Yeah.
I mean, that's scary. And they don't have a lot at receiver, but they are loaded at running back and offensive line.
Quarterback.
And this is a tough league to kick field goals in late in the year, especially with the winds and the weather.
That's a scary proposition. It's new long snapper. Man, the one thing that Nebraska hasn't had to worry about, last 3 years? It's long snapper. I mean, can you think of a time where we were like, oh, the long snapper just messed this game
Their
up?
names never get mentioned, which means they're doing a good job.
I think it's 3 years now that we haven't really thought about it too much.
Well, there was a time when Urban Meyer blocked some punts on Nebraska.
That was not within the last 3 years.
And that was under Mike Riley, probably.
Yeah.
But like they recognized that they had a snapping weakness.
Mm-hmm.
And they time it. I mean, those guys time those snaps with a stopwatch. They know if you're like a tick off, it's block season.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got?
So we're saying Nebraska fifth
in the West.
Fifth in the West.
What do you got, Adam?
Okay, next one. So we've talked about this before when the assistants were just hired, but now that we've seen what they can do on the recruiting trail, which of Nebraska's assistants have impressed you the most?
McGuire.
Evan Cooper for me too is up there. I think just his presence, what he's done, the way he the power that he has and the structure of the recruiting operation.
Oh yeah, he's the right hand man. I mean, like
he made that clear from day one.
Yeah, and you saw it. You saw it in Texas when we were at the satellite camps. Rule and Cooper, like they're standing together all the time. McGuire, I just like the look of it. Again, I go back to the satellite camps. It's just what you'd probably expect, but it's good to see. He's young, knows everybody. You know how he is. Now that I've been around him and I've talked to him one-on-one a few times, I can see why he's a good recruiter. He's a great kid.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great kid. He looks you in the eye. He's easygoing. He's just very, very approachable.
And I think to further that point is because he had probably as many questions around him as anybody on that staff. Yeah. And look what he's been able to accomplish already. Right. Now, how he develops this talent they're bringing in is the next step to it. But as far as what he's been able to do since taking the job, has been nothing short of impressive.
Yeah, his enthusiasm is contagious. He's very enthusiastic. You just like being around him.
Yeah, he's an easy guy to connect with. I think that's really important with these relationships with young guys. They trust him. They feel comfortable around him. And his ability to relate, I think, to that generation is probably more positive as people thought it was a concern.
Right. I'm getting pretty sold on that picture.
Okay, next up, there's a considerable number of 3-stars in Nebraska's 2024 class. Is it possible that any of them get bumped up to a 4-star, and who could that possibly be?
Yeah, and I think it's complicated on that because let's just say industry ranking, because there's going to be some guys that one network has 4 and others have 3. On3 might as a 4, others might have as a 3. So going off the industry rankings, Daniel Kalin and Devon Hall are both 4 stars. On3 today has them as 3s, but On3's rankings haven't been updated yet. Like On3 is extremely high on Carlon Jones. I mean, they have him as a high 3. That's a guy that they're very high on. Other networks are higher on Ian Flint than On3 is. So I think it's all over the map. But yeah, they have 5 today, industry rated 4 stars. I could see them maybe getting at least one more in there.
Who do you think is most likely? Jones?
Carlon Jones.
Isaiah McMorris, Kewan Lacey, Ian Flint, Carlon Jones. I mean, there's a group of those guys right there I mentioned that could all bump up, I think. I mean, there's that lower group of guys that were the camp offer players that didn't have other things going. Like those guys are not going to really move up much higher unless they just have an unbelievable senior year. But
they're on the radar now.
Those were long-term plays.
Right.
Like that they want to get in the program, develop that athletic ability, and make into a great player.
Okay, in that same vein, does Carter Nelson have a shot at becoming the first 5-star player in the state of Nebraska since Bakerstein Cooler?
That's tough because of the level he plays against.
Yeah.
I just don't know if the film's just going to have to look ridiculous, and it probably already will. But when you're evaluating him against 8-man competition,
and if he's at Bellevue West, it's a different conversation.
Yeah, and you're not evaluating him at the position he's going to play. He just seldom plays. I mean, he'll play tight end, right? I
think
he's got to play quarterback at times.
I'm more curious. We're On3. They have him at 72 in our On3 top 100. 247 has him at 40. I'll be curious, like how much he'll move up if he moves up on the On3. Can he be a top 50 player?
So he's at 59.
He's 59 on the industry ranking right now. Can he crack that top 50? Which
again, I think it boils down to who he plays. 8-man football.
He's as high profile of an 8-man player since Rashawn Salam.
Okay. In Nebraska's last 8-man scholarship recruit was at Shanley.
From the in-state, it was Shanley, and then Steve Krewald.
Okay.
St. Edwards, and then North.
And we're talking about Andrew Shanley.
Yeah.
Andrew
in North Loop, Scotia.
Yeah.
Well, Ben Eisenhart was a walk-on. He was an 8-man player. There's been guys that have come as walk-ons, but scholarship, and Seth Malcolm from Iowa.
From Iowa 8-man.
Iowa 8-man from, but like there's in terms of in-state players, it's tough.
In-state, Shanley made it. I mean, he turned out to be a good player. So Krewald. I mean, those are starters. Krewald's starter
fullback, yeah. Didn't he have that?
He helped Nebraska cover the spread against Oklahoma.
The only fullback carry in the Bill Callahan era was in the 04
like
Oklahoma
a 45-yard romp with like minutes to go in the third or fourth quarter.
OU was up 31-0, and it was a 30-point spread. And so Callahan calls a fullback trap to Krewald.
He rambles up there,
and he gets like his 40-yard fullback run, and they kick a field goal to lose 31-28 to cover.
Oh God,
and that was the famous "you bet" to win the game post-game press conference.
Oh yeah,
where
he kept getting asked what was your game plan because it looked pretty conservative, right?
And he just goes, "You bet to win the game."
Yeah, to win the game, you bet. Yeah, he said it like 3 or 4 times.
And Nebraska was almost trying to chew clock, shorten the game, just so Oklahoma's offense wouldn't have opportunities to score more.
Very reminiscent of USC.
Yeah, in Los Angeles.
Yeah, in LA.
The thing is, like through 3 quarters, they played with USC in that game. 2.5. I mean, they dropped a pick 6. I mean, there were some moments that they could have like been right in that game.
Yeah, I wasn't. I know some people could hang me for this. I wasn't offended by it at USC the way Bill approached that. USC had a lot more talent.
Yeah, they knew they couldn't keep up.
Right. Couldn't keep up with them. Slow the game down. Maybe steal it. Steal it.
Yep.
That was one of my favorite, like just that USC band, that stadium. It was so loud in there.
pretty loud. It's pretty cool.
A couple more years, we'll be right back there.
We'll be back in the Coliseum. All right, Abby, final question in the mailbag.
What is your favorite 4th of July meal?
Oh,
I like this summer salad Lori makes. It's incredible. I've been still eating it today. It's some kind of like I don't know. I don't even know what I'm eating. There's a lot of tomatoes in
Put it on
there.
a plate.
There's a lot of noodles. And there's some cheeses.
It's like a macaroni salad type thing, or
Maybe kind of.
I know what you're talking
It's
about.
light.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. A lot of tomatoes.
I know what you're talking about.
so we were all over the map this weekend on our food. Like my buddy Jeff had the taco truck at his house.
At his house.
Yeah, they paid for the taco. Well, everyone chipped in.
Different kind of world than in Northland.
And we had the taco truck.
I go to taco trucks in Northland, but they're not in my driveway.
And then
You don't want them.
Firethorn at the pool on the 4th always does like a ballpark buffet, essentially. You know,
They do.
everything's out. You just kind of, you can get
How
a hot
was
dog. I mean, you got to watch it because you could go overboard quickly. I mean, there's no stopping you from taking a hot dog, a hamburger, and a pulled pork sandwich on the same
Okay,
plate.
that'd be trouble.
And there's people that do it.
So this year, my neighborhood blocks off a street.
Okay.
There's a little street party, whatever.
Okay.
And 3 dudes brought out their Blackstone grills.
Oh,
so we had
God.
a set line of just Blackstones, and everybody's like chopping up onions, doing smash burgers. And so the Blackstone smash cheeseburger was a real nice addition to the 4th of July.
I'm so close to getting one of those. I just need to do it.
They're the real deal.
Are they? What distinguishes them?
Just like a flat top grill that you can control the heat a little bit better, and you can chop stuff up on it.
Okay.
I'll probably not get one, but I have enough people around me that have them that I can enjoy them.
Okay. Sean, you should get
But burgers on a Blackstone.
Sounds good.
And then we had
as Matt Rule would say.
we had a tri-tip steak from Costco. My buddy Mitch made it on his smoker.
Publisher.
Yeah,
Hey,
publish your life.
Okay, this is like a 3.5-4 pound steak that was like $30. Like your meal at Wingstop or Buffalo Wings and Rings is probably more than what this whole tri-tip.
Don't take offense.
But it was legit.
Abby.
What's yours?
I don't know. I'm a big fan of hot dogs, pulled pork, but watermelon, corn on the cob.
Oh yeah, can't go
that's
wrong
where
with
it's
watermelon.
at.
Especially on a day
That's the
like
best.
God, that
this
does
year.
sound good.
Yeah.
It's 1,000 degrees outside.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Watermelon was going down nice.
Yeah.
Bonus question: if you were in an eating competition, what food would you have the best chance to hang in the competition?
Pasta. I could eat a lot of pasta.
Let me think about it. You go ahead.
I would say wings or shrimp.
shrimp. Just shrimp goes down easy.
You don't have to chew it.
Did you know St. Elmo's had like that? Joey Chestnut
yeah.
won the.
You had to use the sauce, right?
Yeah, he ate like 20 pounds of St. Elmo's shrimp and
Wait
sauce.
a second. Chestnut does more than hot dogs.
Oh yeah, he's a professional eater.
He's
Eat
got
all
a big
sorts of
old
stuff.
jaw. He's got a big mouth. Like if you just look at physically, his jaw is a bit, and he's got a big jaw.
There's a documentary on Kobayashi. Remember him?
Yeah.
Like how he trained for that. So he's like jacked, like 6-pack abs, but like he would train to where he would eat so much just to like expand his stomach so that it could fit more food. And it was like a scientific regimen that he would do to prepare his intestines to be able to handle 65 hot dogs or whatever it may be.
Seems very normal.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine there's any
I know a lot
long-term
of people like that.
consequences with that.
I mean, he's a millionaire on it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but you can't eat. Like, there's a reason why the guy from the diners driving guy, like he stopped eating at the places.
Yeah.
Or no, Man vs. Food. Man vs. Food.
Oh, Man
Like,
vs. Food.
Man
had to
vs.
cut
Food.
back?
Like he used to eat.
He was dying. He was killing himself.
Like, and then it just became like other people ate, and he was like the host of it. Like,
Yeah.
it's like
He'd bring
had to
in
cut
guests to eat the food.
He had to cut back.
Yeah.
Yeah. You wonder about
His
that.
cholesterol just had to have been
Oh, God.
outrageous.
well, what were you gonna eat now, Sip? What do you?
Oh, I hot dog. I mean, I like the hot dog.
You
idea.
dip him in water.
Yeah. Just whip them down.
Not wings.
That's disgusting.
I would pick wings. That's
Would
what
you?
I would pick.
I just
Yeah.
don't know how fast I could go on that.
Yeah.
You know?
I can just shovel pasta in my mouth, so I'll do that.
Not a lot of room.
Yeah.
What do you mean not a lot of room?
I mean,
You pay
pasta
for
would
it
fill you
later.
up quick.
Yeah. Well,
Pasta
but,
will
but
fill you up
initially it takes a while. So that's
Yeah.
why I say like if I'm
Ooh,
just
that's
like,
trouble.
if I'm doing it for like a minute straight, I can just gorge myself on pasta, then deal with the consequences later.
Yeah, Chestnut went 62 hot dogs in 10 minutes. I think that's what it is.
62 hot dogs.
I think that's what he definitely went 62. I'm not sure exactly.
And there was a
what the
rain
time-
delay too.
There's a game we used to play where we watch a baseball game and you'd have a beer and a hot dog every inning. So the top and bottom half.
You did not.
Yeah, I tried it. And
It's like playing Century Club.
It's fun at first, because like the hot dogs taste good, the beers go down easy. But about like the middle of the seventh, you're really hating your life.
Oh,
so like I'm just imagining like 7 hot dogs, how I felt. I mean, granted, there's 7 beers mixed in there as well, but 62, just I can't even comprehend what that would do to your body.
Century Club, that drinking game, it was like 100 shots of beer in 100 minutes.
Yep.
Ooh,
way harder than it sounds.
We had a CD that would play like a minute of soundtrack, and then the guy would go drink, and then you would skip to a new song.
Yeah.
this is